section houses. They lived at home and worked in the section. Fast trains. Most of the sidings of the railroad are in the vicinity of 1,000 feet long, and typically would handle between 18 and 25 cars, which was very appropriate. 80 and 50 car train was old train at that time, especially out here on the mountain. Later on, in later operations, the trains got a lot of padres who came up from Mexico City. That's why we have names like Cumbres and Toltec and the San Juan Mountain. The Sangre de Cristo means Sacred Heart of Christ. San Juan, and of course, the St. John. The next creek over, next to Sublet, is called Canada Florentista. I don't know what those things mean, but they were biblical references by the Padres of some kind. There's a lot of locals that don't even know the names of these little series so that we have breaks. When he's going downhill, there's a separate set of procedures, which we'll talk about when we go downhill. Gravel of different kinds in it. It looks like concrete, but it's actually volcanic.
Look out over here.
And that is Rio de los Pinos over there to the left, down the hill. The water tank back at Lava. But there was a time when they had white buildings and green trim, which is what we have replicated here. There are two main buildings here. One of them is a log bunkhouse that was actually built in 1880. The bunkhouse was built in local logs. When we get there, look carefully at the way the joinery was done. Welcome to Sublet, folks. If you look off to the right when we stop here, you'll see a white pole sticking up. By the way, we're in New Mexico. Colorado is probably 500 feet that way. Anyway, the white pole has a pulley on top and a rope and a float that goes down to the cistern and a weight. And if you know what you're looking at, it'll tell you how much water is in the cistern. That is the log bunkhouse off to the left there, and we are right in front of the section house. And these structures are due for attention at next year's work session. All the noise being created by the locomotive, by the way, that's actually the safety valve or the pump-off valve. Which tells you that the fireman has made the fire too hot, generated too much steam for it to have to cooperate by using that steam in the right place at the right time. So it's really a kind of a dance that they do to try to operate the locomotive in the most efficient manner possible. Which is one reason why steam locomotives actually have tremendous capability, but they can't. about 10 o'clock. And if you look towards the top of that, you'll see a color. You'll see a white portion, and up above that, you'll see a green portion. Right over there. The reason for that, by the way, is hot springers get eroded by the salt spots got washed away, and the hard spots didn't, and the hard spots became volcanic fires like that. We'll see a lot of those as we go along. The railroaders had names for all of them, and it was important that they did because they would tell them exactly where they were on the track. I do not know what all of those names were, but I've heard a few of them. Unfortunately, I've never heard any that I could repeat in mixed company. Engineer and fireman at engine number 169. And in typical Denver and Rio Grande fashion, they pull the engines back up along with the cars, put them back on the rails, refurbish them, put them back in service. In fact, engine 169 was in service from 1883 until 1938. 1939, they took it to the World's Fair in New York for a historical exhibit. When they brought it back, they gave it to the city of Alamosa. And today, it sits in a pavilion right by the city hall, the city of Alamosa, the very same engine that toppled down the mountain. Engine 169, when you're driving through Alamosa, you can't miss it if you're on approaching a place called the Phantom Curve, by the way. You see the track over there? You see, think of it this way, 18, 19-year-old railroaders, you know, in the 1880s, they're they're superstitious, anyway. In any event, they're coming down here with the brakes and screech, and their headlight is playing on the volcanic fires, and they see phantoms back behind the lights, and ghosts and goblins. So this is named Phantom Curve as a result of that. However, where we just passed, see where there's a culvert coming down out under the track over there? That culvert, in 1947, there was a train, a passenger train coming through there on February the 11th. An avalanche came down off the hill, took the train with it down the valley, except for the engine and the baggage car. No one was hurt. The passengers were not even dislodged from their seats. On this side, there was another thing that happened. The train was coming along from the other direction, and there was a young elk running down the mountain. It was running down the mountain because it was being chased by a bear. And when the elk reached the train, which was coming along at the same time, it being an elk, jumped and cleared the train, continued down the mountain. The bear, being a bear, jumped and did not clear the train. In fact, the bear landed in the middle of the open car that we're in right now, which rapidly vacated the people. The bear, however, being smarter than the average bear, decided his future did not lie in the open car, and he jumped over the side and continued down the mountain too. There's something that happened like that, you know. Oh, and don't drop your cameras over there because there are fishermen down there, you know. Be careful. So anyway, in order to keep the car from tipping over, I'm going to have to ask half of you to move away from the left-hand side. I'm just kidding. But we can do it both. By the way, before we get to the tunnel, you'll see this metal arch that goes over the track. Back in the tunnel, with wires hanging down from the top. And the purpose of that is, can anybody guess? If you're on top of the train and you get hit by a wire, it's a pretty good, yeah, you better get down. It's called a telltale. Many things are called telltales, but this is one more. Telltale right there. Erected this. Who would be on top of the train, by the way? Can anybody guess? Right, brakeman. But this railroad was the first Class 1 railroad to exclusively use Westinghouse air brakes, so they really didn't have brakemen on top. But they might have. You never know. Anyway, welcome to Rock Tunnel, and off to the left, Toltec Gorge. Monument that was erected to the railway ticket agents that were having a convention up here when they received word that Garfield had died. If you recall, he was assassinated. They divided and put it up there, and then another telltale. And now you have been through both narrow gauge tunnels. The other two, by the way, one of them was up one was in Utah, and one of them was up in Tennessee Pass. And one in Tennessee Pass got good tell you, the other passengers are already in there eating, and they're trying to eat up all of our food. So when we go in, we're going to have to be a little bit violent and throw them out of their seats and take their food. Otherwise, you don't want to go hungry.